Hello, 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 everyone. It has been a week, maybe a week and a few days since I've been here with you. I took some time off, enjoyed that time, had some projects I needed to fulfill, but we are back and we are going to jump right into what we've been talking about over the last few segments. So we are still digging into just lightly surface in, discovering our identity, our purpose, the importance of it, just giving some thought to walking this out. So I'm going to do just briefly revisit some key points that we talked about the last few times we were together. And we talked about the importance of prayer. We talked about reflection, taking some time to reflect. We talked about mentors and how important they can be in this transition. And then as we are discovering, us understanding our identity and purpose. I emphasize that, this is a personal journey. This is like your own playbook that God has given you. Each of us have one. When we say God has a plan for our life, God has a playbook for us. He has all the plays that we need to make. He has all the training that's necessary in this playbook. He has everything lined up for us. And a lot of times, we just have to find out what that is. We just have to find out what that is. And, we don't decide our purpose. We discover our purpose. And sometimes that can be confusing because we can take what we do good or what have you and think that's what our purpose is. But we're going to talk about that. We'll dig into some of those things as we go along. So we also talked about discovering your God-given gifts and even your desires, because sometimes they can get confusing. We talked about how God has equipped each of us with specific gifts, talents, right? He's even our desires is there. We talked about, how everything that we may have to go through in this journey may not be comfortable. It may not be something that we enjoy. However, as we grow in our discovery, you'll learn that everything we enjoy or will learn to enjoy is directly tied to our purpose. I encourage you to sit down and reflect on some natural gifts that God has placed on your life, areas where you excel, areas where it's what they would call a no-brainer. It's something that comes so natural for you. It's like second nature. It's like you don't have to pray about it. You don't have to ask other people about it. It's just like it's a part of your makeup. It's a part of what you do, and you do it so well. So well. Many people would think you were trained to do it, but it was just a natural gift that God has placed on you, and you just excel at it at every time. We talked about us being open to God and allowing Him to lead and guide us on how to use our gifts for His purpose. He can tell us how to use it, when to use it. all that stuff. That's what we need his guidance on, so that we don't go prematurely, or we don't lag behind and like just sit on it and not do anything with it. And so this is where we need to spend some time and ask God for his guidance, for him to lead and guide us on what we need to do with the gifts he's placed on our lives. This week or the next few days, I want to have you focus on a few things. One is, what gifts or talents do you believe God has given you? Now, I'm not just talking about your abilities, things that you can do, because if the truth be told, if you can get in a book and read, you can learn how to do a lot of things that may not be your gift, your talent, or the grace. God's grace is not on you to do that. Yes, you may do it well, and yes, you may see some success, but the longevity and it's not, the grace is not there for you to press through. So a lot of times you would do those things grudgingly. Your patience are not, you have no patience for it. Like, it's very short lived. So I want you to focus on asking God, or just really spending time in praying and say, God, what gifts and talents have you given me? And I want you to write those things down. Like, what do you believe God has given you? Again, it's important that it's not just what you're capable of doing. Is what do you believe the gift is that God has placed on your life? Then I want you to ask yourself, how have you seen these gifts used to bless other people, to help other people, to inspire others? Take time, and I want you to pay attention to that. Then I want you to look at what areas in your life that you feel more passion. You're just so passionate about these areas. Now, again, in this space right here can also get confusing, because just because you're passionate about something does not mean that's your purpose, your gift, or anything like that. It may just be something you're passionate about. I know a young lady who said to me in one of my classes, she said that even as a young girl, when she would ride by homeless people, she would get so sad. And she always said to herself, when she was able to on her own, she is going to help. And she stuck to her word. She's very involved in giving financial, monetary gifts to organizations that focus on working with those that are unhoused. She's involved with, she'll go out and buy groceries and help fill up storehouses that's in the city, whether it's through a church or an organization. So she never lost that passion, but she knew that was not her calling. That was not her gift. That was not her purpose in life. That was something she was passionate about. So we have to understand the difference. But even with those passions, we can ask, how can we align those passions with God's plan? And what I see her doing with that, I can see that as something being lined up with his plan, because he tells us that there are people that we are supposed to look out for. and they have a need, and she is doing just that. So she's allowing God to use her as his hands and feet in the earth to make a difference. So this week is going to be short, so I'm not going to say much more, but I did want to leave you with a scripture. We're going to read Romans 12:6-8, and it says, we have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is giving, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. And if it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. So we're going to close with that today. And I want to just say that first part one more time. We have different gifts according to the grace given to us. So go out, live your life on purpose. Make a decision that you are going to discover who and what God has called you to do and walk in it with confidence. Go out and live purposely.